Before we begin, Ebruke, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, exhale gently. Now listen. Not every battle you face is visible. Some wars are silent, fought in energy, in emotion, in spirit. There are people who walk beside you wearing the mask of light, Abruhi, but their presence drains you instead of lifting you. They smile, yet your soul trembles. They care, yet your peace fades. My dear friend, this is not coincidence. This is spiritual warfare. And today, you will learn the 7 crucial signs to recognize when darkness is walking beside you, disguised as love. The energy of darkness, Februk. Before we begin, Ebru, take a deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Ebru, exhale gently through your mouth. Feel the air move through you. Feel your chest rise and fall. Now bring your awareness to this moment. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. Let your thoughts settle like dust returning to the earth after a long storm. Because before we can recognize darkness in others, Ebru, we must first learn to recognize stillness within ourselves. My dear friend, in this world, not every battle is fought with swords or words. Some battles are silent. They take place in your mind, in your energy, in the unseen space between two souls. And if you are not awake, you will never notice that you are slowly being drained. Demons do not always appear as monsters. They come disguised as friends, as lovers, as family, as someone you trust. They speak softly, they smile warmly, Ibruhui, and yet their presence feels heavy, like a cloud that follows you everywhere you go. The first sign of a demon in your life is energy drainage. It happens quietly. You don't even realize it at first. You meet them, you talk, and everything seems fine. But afterward, something inside feels off. Your peace fades, your body feels weak, your joy becomes distant. You start doubting yourself, questioning your worth, and losing your natural calm. That is not coincidence. That is spiritual warfare. Because when you stand in your light, darkness takes notice. It doesn't attack directly. It distracts. It confuses. It drains. There are people whose energy feeds you, Hebrew, and there are people whose energy feeds on you. The difference is not always visible, Hebrew, but your soul feels it long before your mind admits it. So, the next time you meet someone, do not only listen to their words, observe how your spirit reacts. Does your body relax or does it tighten? Does your breathing deepen or does it become shallow? Your intuition is ancient. It recognizes truth without logic. Trust it. Fours, softer tone, Hebra. The universe speaks in vibration. Every person you meet carries a frequency. Some bring harmony, others bring dissonance. And when the frequencies don't align, you will feel it as discomfort, confusion, or exhaustion. This is why being mindful of your energy is sacred. Protect it as you would protect your home. You would not let someone enter and set fire to your walls. So why allow someone to burn your spirit with their chaos? A true connection will fill you with warmth, hey bro, while a demonic presence will slowly freeze your light. So if you ever walk away from someone feeling smaller, weaker, or lost, listen. Your soul is whispering the truth. Ibro, this is not your tribe. This is not your energy. At awareness, you reclaim your power. Because recognizing darkness is the first step, Fibruke, to returning fully into your light. The hidden face, Ibra. Close your eyes for a moment. Take another deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Ebru, exhale gently through your mouth. Let everything around you fade. Let the noise quiet. Because what I am about to share with you requires silence. The kind of silence where truth can finally be heard. The second sign is charming darkness. You see, not all demons reveal themselves through anger or cruelty. Some arrive dressed in beauty. They walk softly, speak kindly, and make you feel like you have finally found something divine. They observe you patiently, quietly, completely. They study your wounds, your insecurities, your loneliness. and they learn how to mirror your desires. At first you think it's destiny. You feel seen, understood, adored. They seem to say all the right words at all the right moments. But remember this truth: Ibrahim, the serpent, too, spoke gently in the garden. Demon does not destroy you immediately. It wins your trust first. Because once you trust, you no longer guard your energy. You open your gates wide, and that's when the shadows begin to enter. They come close, very close, until you can no longer tell where your emotions end and theirs begin. And soon you find yourself trapped in invisible threads. You crave their approval, you depend on their attention, and you mistake control for connection. That, my friend, is how charming darkness works. It makes you addicted to the very thing that is slowly draining you. Then comes the third sign: emotional control. Demons feed on confusion. They do not need to scream or shout. They simply twist reality until you doubt your own perception. One day, they give you love. The next, silence. They build you up, then tear you down, only to lift you again. And in this cycle, you begin to lose balance. You start walking on eggshells, trying not to upset them, trying to please them, but no matter what you do, it's never enough. Because chaos is their nourishment. They grow stronger when you lose your peace. When you notice someone who only feels powerful when you feel small, you are not dealing with love. You are standing before an energy that thrives on your pain. And here lies the great secret. When you remain calm in the presence of chaos, the demon begins to panic, because your peace exposes what they truly are. Do not respond with anger. Do not try to prove yourself. Do not explain your worth to those committed to misunderstanding it. Instead, breathe. Withdraw your energy. Observe in silence, because silence is not weakness. It is the highest form of self-protection. When you learn to see beyond the charm and into the vibration, you will understand that not who enters your life is meant to stay. Some come only to test your discernment. To teach you how to listen, not with your ears but with your spirit. And when you finally see through their mask, you will realize that awareness is not a punishment. It is liberation. The spiritual test. Take another breath. Inhale slowly through your nose. Exhale gently through your mouth. Let your chest rise and fall like waves returning to the ocean. Now, bring your awareness to the space behind your thoughts. That quiet space where truth never shouts but always whispers. Because to see clearly, one must learn to be still. And only in stillness do you begin to recognize the difference between a person who brings peace and one who brings illusion. The fourth sign that someone in your life carries a demonic energy is false light. These people speak the language of goodness, but their vibration carries deceit. They talk about kindness, about loyalty, about faith, but their actions divide, confuse, and wound. They will tell you what you want to hear, not what you need to know. They use spiritual words to disguise their manipulation. They say, "I care about you, but what they truly mean is, "I want control over you." They preach about healing, yet they never allow you to heal without them. They wrap themselves in purity, but their aura feels cold and unnatural, like a candle that glows but gives no warmth. Be careful, my friend, of those who use spirituality as camouflage, because a true light does not need to announce itself. It simply shines. It uplifts without conditions. It gives without needing to be seen. The fifth sign is constant drama. Demons cannot survive in peace. Peace is poison to them, so they create chaos, small at first, then larger over time. They twist words, they misinterpret intentions, they stir conflict where there should be calm. You will notice that around them, peace never lasts. It always breaks. Like glass shattering, the moment you think you can finally rest. This is because stillness exposes their darkness. When things become too quiet, their mask begins to slip. So they distract you with problems, arguments, and emotional storms. They will accuse you, blame you, and provoke you. Ibrathi, not because they seek truth, but because they fear silence. That is the spiritual test. The test is not how loudly you can fight back, Ibrari, but how deeply you can stay calm. Because when you refuse to react, Ibrokri, you take away the one thing they feed on, your energy. Learn this truth, Ibrokri. Silence is your sword. Distance is your shield. Awareness is your victory. There is great power in walking away with peace. There is strength in not responding. Because the moment you stop fighting the illusion, it collapses. A demon cannot survive where light is consistent. They thrive only in confusion. Ibroki, and once you become aware of that, Shibrahi, you no longer play their game. The real battle is never between you and another person. It is between your higher self and your temptation to lower your vibration. So when you face manipulation, when chaos surrounds you, Hebrew, remember, Shibrahi, you are not being punished. You are being trained to hold your light steady. Hebrew, trained to master your emotions. Hebrew, trained to see through illusion and choose peace over reaction. That is the spiritual test. And once you pass it, Hebrew, no demon, no darkness, Hebrew can ever touch your light again. The path of liberation, Hebrew. Take one last deep breath. Inhale peace, Hebrew. Exhale fear. Let your mind become clear, Hebrew, like the surface of a still lake reflecting the first light of dawn. You have seen the signs. You have felt the weight of darkness. Now, it is time to understand the path. Hebrew, the way out of the shadows and back into your light. The sixth sign that someone in your life carries a demonic energy, Aberse, is separation from your higher self. When you are around them, you lose connection to your inner truth. You stop praying, you stop meditating, you stop believing in yourself. Your laughter fades, your peace disappears, and slowly, you begin to forget who you were before they arrived. This is not love, it is spiritual theft, because real love brings you closer to your soul. It inspires growth, reflection, and gratitude. But demonic energy does the opposite. Bro, it disconnects you from the divine source within. You start to feel unworthy. You question your own intuition. You find yourself walking on paths that feel wrong, Ibra, but you no longer trust your compass to turn back. That is when you must remember, Ibri, every soul carries light, but not every soul you meet will help you keep it burning. Some will try to blow it out, not because you are weak, Ibra, but because your light reminds them of everything they have lost within themselves. And now comes the seventh and final sign. Hebrew, a demon fears awareness. When you awaken, their illusion begins to crumble. They lose power the moment you stop reacting, because a demon's strength lies in your confusion. Hebrew, when you know who you are, they can no longer touch you. They thrive when you chase, when you argue, when you beg for truth. But the moment you grow silent, Hebrew, the moment you walk away in peace, Hebrew, their shadow fades into nothingness. So do not fight darkness with darkness. You don't need revenge. You don't need to expose them. You need only to rise. Elevation is the loudest victory. When you raise your frequency, Hebrew, the darkness cannot breathe in your atmosphere. You become untouchable. Hebrew, not because you fight harder, Hebrew, but because you live higher. Let your silence become your strength. Let your calm become your weapon. And let your awareness become your freedom. Remember this truth, Hebrew. The light does not argue with the dark. It simply shines. It doesn't explain itself. It doesn't demand to be believed. It just exists. And in its presence, the darkness disappears. So if you have recognized these 7 signs, Hebrew, do not fall into fear. Rejoice, for your spirit has awakened. You can now see what others cannot. You can sense what others ignore. And once truth is seen, Hebrew, it cannot be unseen. Walk forward in awareness. Protect your peace as sacred. Forgive those lost in their own darkness. Hebrew, but never again let them sit beside your flame. Because your light is precious, it is ancient, it is divine, and it was never meant to be dimmed by those who live in shadow. This is the path of liberation, to see clearly, to walk away peacefully, and to rise, Hebrew, not in anger, Hebrew, but in light.